In the quiet suburb of Enfield, London, an unassuming council house became the epicenter of one of the most terrifying hauntings in British history. What began as a few strange noises would soon escalate into a full-blown poltergeist case that would baffle investigators, terrify a family, and leave behind a legacy of unanswered questions. This is the true story of the Enfield poltergeist. It was the night of August 30th, 1977, when the Hodgson family first noticed something strange. In the bedroom shared by 11-year-old Janet and 13-year-old Margaret, there was a soft tapping sound coming from the walls. At first, they thought it was just the house settling, but as the tapping grew louder and more insistent, they realized this was something far more sinister. The following nights brought even more disturbances. Peggy Hodgson, the single mother of 4, was awoken by the sound of furniture scraping across the floor. She rushed into her daughter's room, only to witness a heavy chest of drawers moving away from the wall, seemingly by an invisible force. No matter how hard she tried, it wouldn't budge back into place, as if something was pushing against her. Terrified, the Hodgson family called the police. When officers arrived, they too witnessed strange phenomena. One officer reported seeing a chair slide across the floor, seemingly of its own volition. But after a thorough search, the police found no signs of an intruder and were left with more questions than answers. With nowhere else to turn, the Hodgsons sought the help of paranormal investigators. Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair, from the Society for Psychical Research, arrived to document the strange occurrences. What they would find over the next 2 years would shock them to their core. As the investigators set up their equipment, the disturbances escalated. Janet Hodgson, the 11-year-old girl, became the focus of the activity. She would enter trance-like states, her voice transforming into that of an old man, speaking in a gravelly tone that seemed impossible for a child. The voice claimed to be Bill Wilkins, a previous tenant who had died in the house years ago. Witnesses, including the investigators, reported seeing Janet levitating above her bed, her body contorted as if pulled by an unseen force. The family also saw shadowy apparitions lurking in the corners of their home, whispering incoherently. Photos captured by Gross showed Janet mid-air, seemingly thrown by an invisible force. The case quickly attracted the attention of the media, with headlines proclaiming it as the most documented poltergeist case in history. But not everyone was convinced. Skeptics claimed the children were simply playing tricks to gain attention. However, the investigators were adamant that no child could fake the phenomena they had witnessed firsthand. For nearly 2 years, the Hodgson family endured the relentless torment. Objects would fly across rooms, strange voices would speak through Janet, and the air was often thick with an oppressive, unwelcoming presence. The haunting finally seemed to die down in 1979, but the memories would haunt the family forever. To this day, the Enfield poltergeist remains one of the most well-documented yet controversial hauntings in history. Was it truly a case of paranormal activity, or was it an elaborate hoax? The truth may never be known, but the fear, the terror, and the unanswered questions linger like a dark shadow over Enfield. 400 years ago, one of the most haunting mysteries in American history began to unfold on the remote shores of Roanoke Island. A colony of English settlers vanished without a trace, leaving behind only cryptic clues and a single word carved into a tree, Croatoan. To this day, no one knows what truly happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. It was the year 1587 when a group of 115 English men, women, and children arrived on Roanoke Island. Led by Governor John White, they hoped to establish a permanent settlement in the New World. But what they didn't know was that the island held secrets far older and darker than they could ever imagine. At first, life on the island was promising. The settlers worked together to build homes, grow crops, and establish a new life far from the struggles of England. The native Croatoan tribe, led by Chief Manteo, was friendly, but they warned the settlers of dark forces lurking in the deep woods. As the summer of 1587 drew to a close, the colony's supplies began to dwindle. Governor John White, desperate to secure provisions, set sail back to England, leaving behind his daughter Eleanor, her infant daughter Virginia Dare, and the rest of the settlers. He promised to return in 3 months, but fate had other plans. The promised 3 months turned into 3 long years. As the settlers waited for White's return, tensions grew, food supplies ran low, and the once friendly natives became distant. But it was the mysterious sounds coming from the forest at night, the whispers, the drumming, the flickering lights, that truly began to haunt them. When Governor White finally returned to Roanoke, what he found was beyond comprehension. The settlement was eerily deserted. There were no signs of struggle, no bodies, only silence. The only clue left behind was a single word carved into a tree: Croatoan. Over the centuries, countless theories have emerged. Did the settlers join the Croatoan tribe to survive? Were they slaughtered by rival tribes, or did they fall victim to something far more sinister? Some believe the colonists were consumed by madness, turning on each other in a desperate struggle for survival. Others whisper of ancient curses and malevolent spirits that roamed the island, seeking to claim lost souls. Today, Roanoke Island is a place of quiet beauty, where tourists walk among the ruins of a colony lost to time. But beneath the surface lies an enduring mystery that has never been solved. The spirits of the lost colony may still roam these woods, their cries carried on the wind, waiting for someone to uncover the truth.